Welcome to Man for Plus Magic, everybody. Yes, I know the video seems so weird. Rats, Morophon, that doesn't make sense. And it's true, it didn't. Our playgroup kind of had this inside joke of just like a year ago about how we could just do rats with Morophon, but that didn't make sense because it's 5-color and rats are like 1 color, and it didn't make sense. But it was funny enough that we were like, let's just do it anyway. And by we, I mean my friend Austin, who decided to build this deck. It's really weird, and you won't think there's any synergy at all, but it somehow works, and it's just funny, and it's really fun. And the price on this deck says $200 on the thumbnail. The prices fluctuate so much with this specific deck because my friend Austin has different versions of the cards, like the secret layers and different styles of art, and so the prices fluctuate, but it's roughly $200. But yeah, hopefully you guys like this one. It's really goofy, but say hello to Morophon Rats. That's right, you heard it. Morophon Rats. What do it do? Well, this is a rat deck. The more rats you have, the better it is. And that's precisely what we're going to do here. Ramp, rats, repeat. First category, rats. 22 rat colonies. The more rats, the better, and we shall bring to pass Rat-mageddon. Next category, more rats. Yes, I know I spelt more wrong. It's funny. These cards usually have no place in Commander, being a singleton format, but here they work extremely well. First we got Pack Hunt and Secret Salvage. These two search for multiple copies of creatures with the same name, and since there are 22 rat colonies in the deck, you can be sure you'll always have at least one in your hand. Pack Hunt searches for 3 copies, and Secret Salvage exiles 1 from your graveyard, and then searches your deck for as many rat colonies as you like. It's freaking nuts. Remembrance. An enchantment that makes sure we'll be able to search for our rats when another rat dies. Like I said, rats. Blood Bond March. This is a cool card. It affects everyone, but you'll probably be the only one it really does much for. Whenever any creature is played, everyone returns all cards with the same name as that card from their graveyard to play. It'll be so, I mean, you've got tons of rats, so when you cast Rat Colony for everyone, you know, every rat colony in your graveyard comes back to play. It's super, super good. It also works for everybody else, so like everybody who played Sakura Tribe Elder, now everybody else's Sakura Tribe Elder comes back out. It's a really weird card, but it works really well for this rat deck. Now we have even more rats. Burglar Rat and Mad Ratter. Burglar Rat is just a cheap rat that forces our opponents to discard cards, which is always effective, and Mad Ratter lets us make 2 extra rats whenever we draw a second card on each turn, which is always just beneficial. Piper of the Swarm and Meignaud both make rat tokens, paying some cost, and they give your rats some sort of evasion with menace or fear. Piper of the Swarm also lets us gain control of any creature forever by sacrificing 3 rats and paying 2 and 2 black. Ogre Slumlord and Ratcatcher. These are the OG rat guys. Whenever another non-token creature dies, we'll make another rat, and it gives all our rats Death Touch, that Ogre Slumlord. And Ratcatcher lets us tutor for a rat on our upkeep, feeding the Endless Horde. Next category is rats? Are these really rats? I mean, we got Masked Vandal and Mirror Entity. Technically they're rats, right? Masked Vandal can exile an artifact or enchantment by exchanging a creature card from our graveyard, plus he's a rat. And Mirror Entity is a rat, and can give all your rats +X till the end of turn, making all your rats potentially very, very scary. Realmwalker is yet another rat, and now you'll be able to cast rats from the top of your library. Progenitor Mimic and Reflections of Lit Jara. Let's keep creating rats. Progenitor Mimic can copy a rat and then make more rats on your upkeep. And then Reflections of Lit Jara also allows you to copy your rat spells. Rat-a-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Maskwood Nexus and Sandworm Convergence. Masquerade Nexus makes all our non-rats rats, and then creates more rats, and then Sandworm Convergent it's good in any green deck. It prevents flyers from attacking you, which is good because there's no flying in the deck. And the worms are nice, and they pair well with Maskwood Nexus, but that's it. But hey, I'll never say no to a free 5/5 worm every turn. Now, how are we going to get our rats out? Well, I mean, most of them only cost 2 mana, so it's not a huge deal, but this is ramp for rats. Notice how I didn't start with this section. We got Soul Ring and Charcoal Diamond, just basic artifact ramp here, not much else to say. Thematic Compass and Solemn Simulacrum. Thematic Compass taps and searches for lands, then transforms and can remove creatures from combat, turning into Spires of Araska. And Solemn Simulacrum ramps and draws a card, which is good for any 5-color deck. 3 visits, Cultivate, Kadama's Reach, Tempt with Discovery, and Beanstalk Giant. Not going to spend much time here. All of them search for land in one way or another, and Beanstalk Giant could potentially become a giant rat with Maskwood Nexus, though he's mostly used for the ramp. Dryad of the Elysian Grove and Escape to the Wilds. These two allow you to play an extra land on your turn, and Dryad of the Elysian Grove makes all your lands tap for any color, which is very crucial in a 5-color deck. And Escape the Wilds lets you play exiled cards from the top of your library for a turn, probably rats. The Great Henge. I freaking love this card. Great value here. Your rats should have a ton of power to make this potentially cost just 2 green mana, and it ramps you, and it gains you life, and makes your rats bigger upon entry. Wow. Alright, extra rats, kind of. Herald's Horn and Zendikar Resurgent. Herald's Horn makes our rats cost less and might possibly place 1 into our hand on our upkeep. And Zendikar Resurgent doubles our rat making mana and draws us cards when we cast our cheap little rat boys. Notice how I slipped into a southern accent there. Real nice. Should I just keep it for the rest of the episode? I don't know if I will. But let's keep our rats. Not keep our rats, let's help our rats. Temur Ascendancy and Urobrask the Hidden. These both give our rats haste. Temur Ascendancy also dresses a card when something with power 4 or more enters, and all you need are 3 rat colonies and you'll start drawing cards. Urobrask then makes our opponent's creatures enter tapped, which is no fun for them. Tetsuko Umezawa Fugitive and Marchesa the Black Rose. Tetsuko is great for when our rats only have 1 toughness because they won't be able to be blocked. 6 unblockable 7/1s coming at you can be extremely terrifying. And Marchesa the Black Rose doesn't help Tetsuko out, but if she's out at a different time or just in general, your rats can dethrone your opponents and come skittering back from the graveyard on the end step. Now let's kill the not rats. Not many kill spells in here, but hopefully you're fast enough to get around the other threats. Eat to Extinction and Price of Fame. This Eat to Extinction exiles a creature or planeswalker, and you can put the top card of your library into your graveyard if desired. Price of Fame destroys a creature and costs less if it targets a legendary creature, plus it surveils, putting more cards in your graveyard if you'd like. Rat Draw. Sign in Blood, Read the Bones, and Beast Whisperer. Sign in Blood and Read the Bones both draw you 2 cards and lose you 2 life, and Read the Bones scries 2 at first. These are just great little card draw cards, just 2 mana for a couple of cards, which is really pretty good. And Beast Whisperer draws us cards when we cast our rats, and lots of rats means lots of cards. Now, let's feed the rat army. More stuff? Okay then. Once Upon a Time, Shared Summons, and Mob Rule. Yes, Mob Rule. Once Upon a Time helps out in a lot of cases with land or rat, plus it's free if it's your first spell. Shared Summons helps us search for more rats or rat makers. You can get a couple of them. And Mob Rule is another odd addition. Mob Rule is always super janky, and it's always really good. Moving everything or mostly everything from their boards to your board is extremely helpful, and it helps you get that rat damage in. Plus, if we have Maskwood Nexus out, all of our opponent's creatures will be rats too. It's a win-win. And finally, we've got lands. I'm not even going to spend much time here because lands are always just whatever you want to put in and make of them. Some people like having expensive fetch lands and such, but basic lands work just as well. I mean, you can't fix it as well, but, you know, it still taps for mana. And it brings the cost of the deck down significantly. And this deck will be running more basics than anything, and it'll run mostly forests and swamps for the ramp and the rats. But make sure you also have cards like Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, and the like to make sure that you have access to all 5 colors for the deck.
Thank you so much for watching. This is just so weird. You don't think it would work at all, but it does. And I've played it enough times to know that it works, and it's weird, and I don't know why it works. But it's funny, and I love it. But like, comment, subscribe, and press that bell button to make sure that you don't miss any more episodes here on Manfred Plus Magic. Every single Thursday there's an episode. Make sure you don't miss a single one of them. And I will see you guys next week.